and thereby perpetuate itself by generating long-term economic value, no, for its shareholders while respecting the interests of stakeholders and society as a whole. Ano naman magandang definition niya ng corporate governance, no? Pero nakikita nyo dito, no, parang merong it talks about financial and human capital, no? Tapos ano din, yung long-term value, no? Parang you should be generating value, no? You should be creating value for your stakeholders, no? Actually, sinabi pa rin na dito shareholders, ibig sabihin niya may-ari ng kumpanya, no? Pero, klaro siya, di ba, sabi niya, while respecting the interests of stakeholders and society as a whole. No? So, di naman yung sinasabi, kikita ka lang, tapos mga shareholders na kikita. No? So, dapat meron lang tayong, parang, you should also take into consideration the effects, no, on the environment where you operate. So, yan, like, halimbawa, parang manufacturing company ka, yung waste mo siguro dapat, well treated at saka it's not really polluting to others. Or kung pollutant ka man, at least you make up for it. So, kasi minsan may mga operations pa hindi mo naman siya totally ma-eliminate. Siguro very good example ng air polluting operation. Actually, yung coal mine, kaya gusto siyang ipagbawal at some point, di ba? Pero, yan, di ba? Parang naglabas na dati yung Department of Energy na pagbabawal na nila ang coal mining operations, tapos na sila, parang magmoratorium na sila on new applications na hindi na nila papayagan. Because it's really damaging, no, to the environment. Kasi yung pagmimina ng coal, for example, nag-i-emit siya ng yung mga carbon. Hindi lang dioxide, alam ko carbon monoxide. And I'm not a chemical engineer or I'm not a scientist, pero alam ko yung toxic yun sa katawan natin. Tsaka sa environment, hindi siya maganda. Kaso lang, sa situation natin ngayon, trade-off siya parang, sige, pag pinagbawal mo lahat yung mga coal mining operations, dahil masyado tayo naging environmentalist, wala din tayong kuryente. So, pamili tayo, di ba? Para ano bang gusto natin, di ba? So, sa siya na parang, of course, we don't want it, no? Pero, siya, parang right now, it's a necessary evil siguro. Maybe that's how I should phrase it. That's how I should describe it, no? Kasi mga renewable energy sources natin, hindi yan ganyan ka-reliable, no? Parang, unlike ngayon, yung solar, di ba, pinag-uusapan siya. Kaya meron tayo palang kasamang dito na parang engineer yata who works for a renewable energy company. Ang malaking susi din yung storage. Pag yung storage natin na-improve yan significantly, baka pwede na tayong na parang to some extent maging mas reliable yung mga renewable energy sources na pero at least for the solar energy, no. Sa tubig naman mga hydroelectric, paano pag El Nino, 'di ba? Pag naubusan ng tubig yung mga natin, yung mga halimbawa Maria Cristina Falls, paano makaka-generate ng hydroelectric power kung kulang ang tubig, 'di ba? So mga ganyang issue, no. So kanya may concerns tayo dyan. Pero syempre sabi ko nga, ako I welcome the day na halimbawa maging self-sufficient tayo based on renewable energy sources. Pero tingin ko matagal pa yan. In fact, yung Department of Energy, sila dati, nag-moratorium. Siyempre, bumagsak ang presyo ng yung coal, yung Semirara, kasi yun, mining at saka power generation company. Pero ang base niya, normally, coal yun, no? So, bagsak siya. Tapos, kahapon yata, para merong bagong disclosure ng DOE, sabi na, hindi naman yan, hindi naman ganyan kahigpit. No? Siguro na-realize na parang sandali ko lang pang kuryente natin. Parang hindi tayo pwedeng maging choosy masyado dyan. Ayan. Ito naman, naalala ko, nakita ko yung Cadbury report, no? Very sinful ang ending yan. Mas maganda itong describe, face-to-face, na makikita niyo yung expression ko dito sa well, ang pangalan kasi kaya yung tinawag na Cadbury report. Yung author ng committee na sa UK to, yung head ng committee, si Cadbury, no? Tapos ito yung nila, ito yung definition nila ng corporate governance. Merong issue sa UK, tapos head ng, I forgot the first name Tapos this is how they define corporate governance. It's the system by which companies daw are directed and controlled. Masyado namang masyado namang maiksi yung kanyang definition. By which companies daw are directed and controlled. Naalala ko tuloy I've been to the original factory ng Cadbury ka na naalala ko siya. Naalala ko yung malayo ka pa naamoy mo na yung chocolate. Ano ka talaga? Kung diabetic ka, parang magsisikabat ka nagpunta doon. So, ayan. Anyway, ito naman definition ng OECD. Hindi ko na maalala kung ano to yung ECD is economic European, no? OECD. Hanapin lang sa Google kung yung OECD, no? Pero ito yung definition nila ng corporate governance. Basahan ko siya kasi magandang definition ng OECD. Sabi it involves a set of relationships between a company's management, its board, its shareholders, and other stakeholders. No? Other stakeholders, yung mga creditors, public, regulators, ganyan. Sabi na corporate governance also provides the structure through which the objectives of the company are set and the means of attaining those objectives and monitoring performance are determined. Ayan. Kasi yung definition nila ng corporate governance. Madami yan. So, meron din tayong local, huwag kayong mag-alala. Yung SEC meron siya. Ito. Author niyan, Securities and Exchange Commission sa remember yung isang estudyante ko dati naging commissioner dyan. No? So, siya yung unang nagbigay sa akin. That's how I learned na meron palang ganyan. No? So, he gave me a copy of yung hard copy pa to ng Code of Corporate Governance for Publicly Listed Companies. Kasi for a while, I think we trained SEC people. No? So, yun, for some time. No? Anyway, I think definition ng ito pala, pwede niyong basahin yung Code of Corporate Governance for Publicly Listed Companies. Una itong nilabas 2009, I think, no? So, alam ko, hindi pa siya updated, Pero yung last version na alam ko yung 2016. Ano siya, no? Meron din siya for non-listed companies, pero I think for publicly listed companies, maganda siyang basahin. It's not that long. You can download it actually from Securities and Exchange Commission. Pero siya, parang for tawag dito? Marami siyang recommendations on how you should go about it. No? Parang if you're a publicly listed company, tingin ko nga dapat lahat ng publicly listed companies alam yan by heart. No? Yung code na to. No? Marami ka matututunan sa kanya. Anyway, let's go to the definition. No? And sabi niya, it's a system of stewardship and control to guide organizations in fulfilling their long-term, long-term daw, economic, moral, legal, natindihan kaya ito naman nagsulat nito, and social obligations towards their stockholders. Ayan, no? And sabi niya, it is a system of direction, feedback and control using regulations, performance standards, and ethical guidance to hold the board and senior management accountable for ensuring ethical behavior, reconciling long-term customer satisfaction, with shareholder value to the benefit of all stakeholders and society. So, sana mabasa din to ng ating mga politicians, para, to the benefit of all stakeholders and society. Nakakalimutan nila to, para naalala lang nila mga sarili nila, di ba? Ayan. Sorry, dami kong patamay. Kasi, the past few days, nakakapuya talaga yung panonood ng mga hearings na yan. So, kala ko kahapon marami nang mabubulgar tapos biglang reshuffle, Senate. Ay, naku, Diyos ko talaga. Anyway, yan ang mga events that led to the corporate governance reform sa USA. Ay, naku, ito, napaka-controversial nito nung way back in 2001, Tapos, as a result of this scandal, kaya natayo yung Sarbanes-Oxley Act naman, So, dito dahil dito sa act na to, pinagbawal ang mga, dito ba siya pinagbawal? Di ba yata dito? Dito pinagbawal yung yung mga accounting firms having management consultancy service. Hindi ko naman parang bumabalik na yata sa audit na. Pero during this time, kasi nga Enron scandal, yung si Enron to, tsaka yung kanilang accounting firm, si, ano nga, Arthur Andersen, no? Yeah, kapangalan ko pa naman. Sila yung auditor nila. Sila, it was the biggest accounting firm at that time, no? So, ano siya, no? Parang yung accounting firm, in cahoots na siya with the management of Enron. Tapos, ano siya, no? Siya yung management consultant siya, but at the same time, external auditor siya ng Enron. So, ayun, so parang kakaroon ka na ng ano pag ganyan, nagkakaroon ka na ng conflict of interest. Bakit ka nagkakaroon ng conflict of interest? Kasi halimbawa yung ano, yung Management Services Department, no, MS Department, Management Services. Halimbawa may inaayos sila din sa isang company. So let's say they fix, no, let's say internal control system ng isang company, let's say company A. So yung Management Services Department, they fix the Internal Control Department. Tapos ngayon, yung external auditor, dumating, same company, no? Paano mo namang i-criticize yung internal control system that was designed by another department in your organization? Kita niyo yung conflict of interest, no? So, kaya ano yan, no? But after Enron scandal, under sa Sarbanes-Oxley Act, pinagbawal yan. So, yan. Kaya remember yung ano, anong tawag dito? Si SGV actually hiniwala nila yung management consulting nila because of ano eh. Nagkaroon ng Accenture yata nangyari no, sa SGV. So hiniwala yung public accounting practice sa management consultancy services. So anyway, sabi nga, I'm not going to discuss the details of this na pwede niyong basahin yung mga yan. And so, yung mga salient provision ng Sarbanes-Oxley Act, ayan, no? Ayan, basahin nyo lang yung mga yan. Then akong gustong i-discuss dito. Ayan, Dodd-Frank Act, okay din yan. Basahin nyo na lang yan. Actually, mga nakasulat dyan, ako yatang, yan, contributions kayo mga yan. Pero basahin nyo na lang. Masyado mahaba yan. There are some things that I'd like to emphasize here. Ito sa Philippines, no? So what led the corporate governance reforms in the Philippines? Yung isa, hindi pa kayo buhay siguro eh. Or some of you were not even born yet. Yung 1997 Asian Financial Crisis. Ano yun, no? Talagang dumapa ang Pilipinas. At saka hindi lang Pilipinas. I think there are other Asian countries like Thailand, Indonesia. Ano yan, talagang we were very much adversely affected by that crisis. So ano yan, syempre nag-trigger siya ng mga reforms. No? In fact, just in case you're wondering, di ba 1997 nangyari crisis, yung Asian financial crisis? No? Tapos, noong 2008, 2009, di ba meron tayong subprime mortgage naman? Courtesy ito ng US na subprime mortgage crisis. Noong 1997 Asian Financial Crisis, maraming bangko na yung banking system natin dumapa talaga. Pero in 2008-2009, hindi ko alam kung di nyo napansin, our local banks were very much resilient. 2008-2000. Pero palagay ko, because of what happened in 1997, medyo marami ding nagawang reforms yan. So, makasama natin yung mga taga-BSP, siguro matutuwa kayo dito. No? Kasi, I think BSP made a lot of reforms. No? And I think one of those reforms is, increasing the capital requirements ng mga bangko, especially mga universal banks. At pagkatapos nagkando din sila, parang nag-require din sila ng mga concentration limits sa mga loan exposure. I think sinimulan nila sa property. Parang dati walang limit yung exposure ng bank sa properties. But because of the 1997 crisis, they imposed a limit of 20%. Yung limit na to, na-relax siya during the pandemic. Ginawa siyang 25%. Pero dati, after the 1997 crisis, maximum mo dyan 20%. So bakit nilagay na restriction na ng BSP? Kasi one of the other industry that was hardest hit by the 1997 crisis was yung property sector. So tinamaan sila naman. At dahil yung mga bangko na kanang exposure nila sa property sector, so tinamaan din ng mga bangko. So, syempre para maiwasan yan to happen again in the future, naglagay ng concentration limit yung BSP. Tapos ano yan, parang required disclosure na sa other than the property, binabantay din ng BSP kung halimbawa you're becoming over-concentrated in other industries. So, ganun, no? So, marami ding reforms na nangyari, no? In the 1997, kaya noong 2008, 2009, nagkaroon ng global financial crisis, no, courtesy of the subprime mortgage crisis in the US, mga local banks natin napaka-resilient. At I think ang Philippines medyo napansin siya during those years kasi parang hindi masyadong tinamaan ng crisis actually. I mean, hindi naman tamang sabihin hindi tayo tinamaan. I think compared to other countries, we were less adversely affected. Sabi nga, we were more resilient. At saka yung banking sector natin, it was very much intact. Ayan. Tapos ito pa, mga various corporate failures and accounting fiascos in the West developed during the early 2000 led. Ayan. So kasama din yung nangyari sa Enron, sa mga corporate governance reforms in the Philippines. Ayan. Kaya mag-alala, malapit na akong matapos. And causes of corporate failures in the 1997 Asian financial crisis, ayan, dominance of family-controlled conglomerates, hanggang ngayon, nandiyan pa rin yan. Pero at least yung mga conglomerates natin, yung mga malalaki, they are more professionally managed na. Parang nagta-transition na sila, no? Parang from family-owned yung management to professionally managed entities. No? So, which for me is a very good development. Yan, weak governance of companies affiliated with conglomerates. Oo, pwede rin yan. No? And the poor governance of banks that led to that payment of loans. So, nung araw. Pero ngayon, napakigpit na mga bangko ngayon, medyo, paano so far okay naman ang performance ng mga bangko natin lately. Tsaka dami ng because of mga Basel rule requirements, ang dami ng binabatay ng BS, may mga capital adequacy ratios, yung mga, high LCD, no? At saka high quality liquid assets ratio, mga ganyan, no? Liquidity coverage ratios. Ang dami na binabantay ng BSP ngayon, no? At kailangan ng mga bangko compliant, no? So they measure the capital adequacy at saka mga liquidity positions, which I think are very critical for banks, no? And sa absence of mergers and acquisition markets. Kasi kung minsan pag may mga ailing companies tapos may mga malalaki, sometimes you can consolidate Ayan, no? So I think sometimes that can happen. Tapos meron pang issue dito, absence of effective bankruptcy proceedings. Ayan. Kaya yan, basahin nyo na yung organizational chart of corporation. Siguro kailangan ko lang dito emphasize yung role ng board. Ayan. So, yung board kasi sila yung stewards ng organization ayan, ang mga stockholders, sila nag-elect ng members ng board. Tapos yung board ang gumagawa ng mga policies within the organization. So dapat yung mga major policies, tsaka yung mga objectives, na long-term objectives, mga strategies, ng organization, dapat approve yan lahat ng board. So, ayan. So, napaka-powerful ng board. Pero, laki din ang kanilang responsibility. So, pag yung board mo hindi masyadong matino, di magkakaroon ng problema din yung company. Tapos dito, kasi may chairman yan Tapos ito, may CEO ka, Chief Executive Officer or President, no? CEO, President. Actually, if you look at the tawag dito, yung corporate governance for publicly listed companies as revised in 2016. Suggestion na dapat magkahiwalay yung chairman at yung CEO. So tama naman, kasi para magkaroon ka ng check and balance. Nangyayari dito sa atin, sa Philippines, yung mga family-owned corporation, minsan parang hindi na ako maniniwala kung meron pang objectivity. Parang independent pa yung chairman sa CEO. No? Kasi kung minsan, ang chairman, yung tatay, no? Father. Tapos yung CEO, yung son or daughter, no? So pag ganyan, di ko alam magkaiba pa ba yung dalawang yan, mag-ama lang yan, or mag-ina, father or mother. Ganon, no? So parang, hindi ko alam kung, pero yung mga nangyayari sa atin ngayon, no? Yung, minsan mag-ama yung chairman at saka yung CEO, magkaiba nga ng pangalan, pero, same group lang naman. So maganda sana, iba yung chairman talaga, tapos independent talaga yung CEO. Kasi pag ganyan, talaga yan? May check and balance ka talaga dyan pag ganun. Okay, so ano lang, yun lang mga observations ko sa ating mga local companies. Yan, basahin nyo lang yung mga yan. Yung mga board structures, I think just read on that. Siguro kailangan nyo lang basahin din pa yung yung mga power of the ref, because you can read on that. Yung yung theories, no, on... Asan nga ba yun? Ito yung mga corporate governance theories. Hindi ko na sila explain kasi nakasulat naman yan, no? But siguro you have to read on this, no? So, may may slide naman yan, bawat theory. Ayan. Ayan. So, basahin na lang yung mga yan. Nito, gumawa nito si Professor Alisa Yata. Kung na-teacher niyo siya, dami niyang drawings. Hindi ko kayang gawin yan. Sa akin, mga ganyan-ganyan. Okay. O yan. Ayoko kayong pagunin masyado first day natin. No? Online pa naman. Mas maganda sana to kung face-to-face. No? So, tapos na ang lecture. So, kailangan magbasa kayo ha. Sabi ko, hindi niyo matututunan yung mga nandes, hindi kayo nagkikase. So, case talaga ang approach natin dito. Okay? Questions before we call it a night? Wala tayong meeting next week ha, pero marami kong i-upload na reading materials. Mga mga slide presentations. Gawa namin actually mga a group of faculty from the school.
Mhm.
Okay. Wala
Sir?
kayong tatanong? Yes. Sino yung nagtatanong?
Sir,
Si
yung
Ate
sa...
Grace.
Adi po. Sir, yung sa
Oh.
case assignments po, for case 1, for example, yan po yung para sa group 1.
Oo, yun na yun.